Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over how to fill in the first quadrant of a unit circle. And we'll just wait for that to load in. There we go. Okay. Also remember to picture this like it's a graph with these two side lengths here. They're both equal 1, which is what makes this a unit circle. So because they equal 1, that means that this center point here is 0, 0 on the graph, and that means that x equals 1 over here, and y equals 1 over here, and then we got zeros for the other. Okay, now this is a 90-degree angle here, so that means that this here would be 90 degrees. Half of 90 degrees is 45 degrees. This is 30 degrees here. And this is 60. All right, and as we know, a full 1 rotation around a circle is 360 degrees. Yikes, that looks terrible, my bad, sorry guys. Or it could be 0 if this is where we're starting. Sorry, not very organized, we're kind of cramming here. Alright, and then this is also 0, or it's 2 pi. It's 2 pi because 360 degrees equals 2 pi, and on a side note, you can convert degrees into radians and vice versa, using either pi over 180 or 180 over pi. Make sure your make sure your calculator's in degree mode. Anyway, so that's that. And then, so if this is 2 pi, then that means that 1/2 of a circle would be just pi, right? Because a full circle's 2 pi divided by 2, that'd be just pi. So half a circle would be just pi. So this is just pi, but then half of pi, if we take pi and we divide it by 2 to get half of pi, that's what goes right here. Because this quadrant is a fourth of 2 pi. So 2 pi divided by 4 is pi over 2. Now, continuing with that general vibe here, it's important to remember that, well, the easy one here for these radians here is just 45 degrees, because it's pi over 4. And not only does the 4 here match with the 4 here to help you remember it easily, but also pi over 2 divided by 2 is what gets you half of this fourth of pi, which is what you want for your 45 degrees. So that's how you do that. And then with this one, kind of similar, except the numbers for these are opposites. So this is pi over 3, and this is pi over 6. So the numbers are opposites here, and it's important just to remember that, let me get rid of that little purple there. It's important to remember that just this, well, whatever, just this area here is pi over 6. So you can keep adding more pi over 6's. So if this is pi over 6, sorry, my dogs are in here. Arya. If this is pi over 6, then you double that, you get 2 pi over 6 or pi over 3. All right, so for these things, it's a little bit more tricky to remember, and it's not really self-explanatory, but basically you have 3 values to remember, and since this is just the first quadrant, you don't have to worry about negatives at all, which is great. So your 3 values are 1/2 square root 3 over 2, and square root 2 over 2. So all of the x's and Aria, all of the x's and y's in these are going to be one of these three values. All right, so the easiest one is, again, the 45-degree angle, because the x and y are both going to be the same. They're going to both be square root 2 over 2. So square root 2 over 2 for x, and square root 2 over 2 for y. I don't know why this is, because I'm not going to get into that right now, but just remember that 45 degrees, not only is it easier to remember this radian here because it matches the 4 in 45, but it's also easier to remember the point because it's the same for x and y. Now, the other two, the 30 and the 60 degrees, get a little more complicated, but it's okay because we got this. Just remember that the 1/2 goes first. The 1/2 goes, puppies! The 1/2 goes in the x value here. So if you're going back this way, you're going in this direction, it goes 1/2 and then 3 squared over 2. No, not 3. Square root 3 over 2. My bad, sorry. So square root 3 over 2 comes second here, and then also, good God. And then square root 3 over 2 is the first one here, followed by 1/2. So you kind of just have to remember which one goes with which, but know that for 30 degrees and 60 degrees, you're going to have 1/2 and square root 3 over 2. Thank you. I hope that was helpful. So sorry for the dogs. I'm so sorry.